A week ago, Cameroon basked in the dawn of hope. After 40 years under Paul Biya's iron rule, the nation celebrated his downfall. Streets in Yaoundé and Douala overflowed with flags. Graffiti of broken chains adorned walls, and youth chanted "Never again" before government buildings. Biya, once called the Eternal President, was toppled by a nonviolent uprising led by youth, intellectuals, and progressive military officers. At the heart of this transformation stood Colonel Idris Mavogo, a 48-year-old military strategist known for his calm demeanor and unyielding resolve. Chosen by the Transitional Council to lead as interim president, Mavogo, a Marua-born soldier who witnessed Biya's injustices firsthand, promised unity, transparency, and justice. "Cameroon needs no kings," he declared. "We need a nation of the people, for the people." His first official address was set for 6 a.m. at Unity Tower, a symbol of Cameroon's new hope, to outline plans for democratic reform and reconstruction. Broadcasters prepared stages, international journalists gathered, and thousands filled the streets. But the unthinkable happened. At 6:07 a.m., control rooms at Unity Tower detected anomalies. Mavogo, escorted by elite guards, failed to arrive. By 6:12, his convoy reported radio silence. By 6:30, the worst was confirmed. Colonel Idris Mavogo, Cameroon's beacon of hope, had vanished. The news struck like lightning. Radios fell silent, phones stopped ringing, and victory songs ceased. Yaoundé, vibrant hours earlier, descended into chaos. Rumors spread. "He's been assassinated. Biya's back. France is behind it." Crowds gathered at Unity Tower, some weeping, others raising fists in defiance. At 8:43 a.m., a rogue military frequency broadcast a chilling message. A man in uniform, face partially masked, appeared on screens. "The Phoenix Division has seized control of Cameroon's transition. Paul Biya may have stepped aside, but Cameroon belongs to him. Restore the old order, or lose your new one." Behind a burning Cameroonian flag, the message was clear. This was war. The Phoenix Division, believed dismantled after Biya's fall, was a clandestine elite unit formed decades ago, loyal only to him. Operating in shadows with no public records or oversight, they survived the post-Biya purges. Surveillance later revealed 6 of Mavogo's guards, assigned days earlier, were former Phoenix operatives. They had planned every step: a power cut, a jammed convoy, a brief shootout, and silence. Mavogo's SUV vanished, leaving only tire marks. Military intelligence went into overdrive, reopening old files. Names resurfaced. General Aoun Ladagra, thought exiled in France. Commander Ngassa Lever, missing since 2022. Captain Marisalan Douala, presumed dead in 2018. All were alive, reactivated, and orchestrating this coup. "They never left," an officer whispered. "They waited for us to relax." On Yaoundé's streets, fear turned to fury. Youth who fought to topple Biya refused to let freedom slip away. Protests formed, with banners proclaiming, "Phoenix are puppets, release Mavogo or face fire." Elderly women banged pots like war drums, students painted slogans, "We won't bow twice." In Biya's former northern stronghold, youth formed human chains to protect town halls from sabotage. By noon, a hacked broadcast aired across networks. General Aoun, flanked by masked soldiers, spoke coldly. "This is Operation Phoenix. The Republic has been hijacked by children and traitors. Restoration begins today. You have 24 hours to surrender, or your fragile new order collapses." Behind him, Mavogo sat, hands bound, head lowered, beaten but alive. This was no warning. It was a declaration of war. This crisis tested Cameroon's soul. The Phoenix Division embodied the past shadow, a reminder that freedom is hard-won. Yet the people's defiance, from protests to human chains, showed a nation transformed, unwilling to kneel again. As a Douala youth told me, "We broke the chains once. We'll do it again, as many times as it takes." In a derelict warehouse in Ninkobang, 12 kilometers from Yaoundé, Colonel Idriss Mavogo was held captive. Shackled to a steel chair, his uniform torn, his eyes bloodshot but defiant, he symbolized a nation under siege. His captors, Phoenix Division members, included men who once saluted him.
Now,
they guarded him with rifles, loyal to Bia's ghost. Yet Mavogo refused to break. "You can chain my arms," he said, voice steady despite wounds, "but you'll never chain a people who've tasted freedom." Unbeknownst to his captors, rescue was near. At a secure military outpost, Cameroonian commandos, backed by Burkina Faso's anti-insurgency experts, monitored encrypted radio chatter. At 3:17 a.m., a Phoenix soldier's error, failing to switch channels, pinged his location for 7 seconds across the AES network. That was enough. Operation Rebirth was launched. No explosives, no casualties. Get Mavogo out alive. At 3:42 a.m., 3 blacked-out tactical trucks halted outside the warehouse. Cameroonian Special Forces, with 2 ES-trained Burkinabe officers, moved silently, jamming doors and cutting comms in 90 seconds. A flashbang tore through the hallway, smoke-filled corridors and laser sights danced on walls. Phoenix guards fell to non-lethal takedowns. In the rear, General fired once before being tackled. "Where's the colonel?" a commando demanded. "Downstairs, vault room," muttered. They found Mavogo cuffed to a beam, bloodied but alive. A tripwire snapped, a booby trap, but the charge, disarmed by the Burkinabe team, failed to detonate. At 3:57 a.m., Mavogo emerged, raising a clenched fist under a rising red sun, an image that became the revolution symbol. By dawn, news of the rescue spread. Yaoundé erupted, not in fear, but victory. Tears, drums, and chants of "never again, never back, Cameroon rises" filled the streets. The Transitional Council shifted to offense, with arrest teams targeting rebels, politicians, and tycoons. General flown to the National Military Court, carried a briefcase revealing 47 names tied to Phoenix financing, Paris-based shell company payments, and a letter offering asylum to BIA loyalists from a redacted European embassy, its flag unmistakable. 9 former ministers, a telecom CEO, and 3 French nationals were detained. Benoit Kala, BIA's ex-media strategist, was caught in a diplomatic SUV's trunk, muttering, "We never thought they'd fight back." Evidence of foreign involvement shocked the nation. An unmarked Eurocopter EC-725, tracked to Camp in Vogue Betsy, a site linked to French advisors, landed as Mavogo vanished, and the rebel video aired minutes later. "France didn't pull the trigger," an officer told me, but they handed over the gun. Paris issued a bland denial. France categorically denies involvement in Cameroon's affairs. "We call for restraint and dialogue." Social media exploded. France denies. Africa suffers. ES leader Captain Traoré declared, "Everywhere Africa rises, the same hands push us back. We're cutting the strings." Youth protested outside the French Cultural Institute, waving Cameroonian and ES flags, burning tires, and chanting, "Traitors wear suits, but we see them now." This wasn't just a rebellion, it was revenge with foreign fingerprints. Yet Cameroon's people stood firm. By midday, citizens flooded Yaoundé, elders with pots, youth with megaphones, students with signs. "We won't bow twice." In Banabri, unarmed students stormed a Phoenix safe house, capturing Sergeant Obum Xavier, a BIA loyalist, and live-streamed his handover. "We don't need violence," their leader said. "We need our country back." The video, dubbed Yaoundé Uprising 2.0, went viral, amplifying Cameroon's defiance. This chapter showed resilience. Mavogo's rescue was a military triumph and a symbol of refusal to retreat. Foreign involvement exposed Africa's broader struggle against manipulation. The people's courage, from protests to live streams, proved a revolution's strength lies in its citizens. With Mavogo safe and Phoenix shattered, Cameroon turned to accountability. Arrest teams swept Yaoundé, targeting rebels, politicians, and foreign enablers. Aoum's briefcase revealed 47 names, bank records, and an asylum letter for Biya loyalists. 9 ex-ministers, a telecom tycoon, and 3 French nationals were detained. Benoit Calla's capture in a diplomatic SUV's trunk exposed the old regime's hubris. We never thought they'd fight back. The burning question remained, where was Paul Biya? For 40 years, his image loomed over Cameroon. Rumored to be in Geneva, he was found at 4:23 a.m. in a hangar near Nsimilin Airport. A jet from Geneva was grounded, carrying a sedated Biya. France, under diplomatic pressure, had surrendered him under medical neutrality. Cameroon rejected diplomacy. Footage of Biya in a hospital bed aired with a caption, "The era is over. He will answer, not in exile, but in history." The frail ex-leader symbolized closure for Cameroon and a warning to Africa's strongmen. The Transitional Council acted fast. A referendum abolished lifetime presidential terms, mandating public vetting and citizen hearings for candidates. Biya's CPDM party was dissolved unanimously. In Yaoundé Square, a new sculpture rose, a broken chain around a ballot box, a burning phoenix, a child standing tall, a promise of freedom. Trials were lawful, not vengeful. Mavogo declared, "We won't become what we defeated." Files exposed millions funneled through Paris, hidden weapons, and Biya's lingering network. Cameroon's clarity stunned observers, showing a nation airing its secrets surgically. Cameroon's story echoed across Africa. From Mali to Congo, this time, its final became a rallying cry. Captain Traoré said, "If they break Cameroon, they break us all." Social media amplified the message. No more kings, no more silence. Protests outside the French Cultural Institute continued, not with violence but resolve. Traitors wear suits, but we see them now. Evidence of foreign involvement, the Eurocopter, bank records, embassy letter, was a wake-up call. Cameroon's fight was Africa's fight. Yaoundé transformed from a pressure cooker to a crucible of hope. Streets hummed with purpose, youth painted murals, elders shared stories, children played under the new sculpture. Cameroon didn't just defeat a rebellion, it rewrote an African nightmare. The broken chain, burning phoenix, and standing child were promises kept, a torch lit for the continent.